Okay, hello everyone. I have just woken up like 10 minutes ago and I have some Stranded Deep to record, but I'm extremely tired and I wanted a way to wake my voice up so I don't sound like I've just woken up in the Stranded Deep video. And I've always wanted to do a tier list and we're starting this shitpost channel, so here we are. This is what I'm planning to do. Truth be told, I don't really know what I'm doing, but this should be pretty easy to put together. So here we are. We're doing a Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero creature tier list. Let's see if I can actually remember what all of them are. Also, down at the bottom there, we have some ones that were never actually added to the game, some concept arts and whatnot. So let's go. I don't know what I'm doing. First off, we have the amoeba, or at least I think that's what it is. The fact that I don't even know the name proves that it's an F tier. It does absolutely nothing. It has no function in the game, at least not that I'm aware of, so why would anyone care about it whatsoever? No one should. It sucks. Next up, we have the amp eel, or at least I think that's what it's called. Maybe it's called the shocker now. I can't quite remember. It's been a couple of years since I played the game, or Jesus, probably more like 3, 4 at this point, I don't know. Anyways, the amp eel I think is pretty cool. I don't really like the design, but I like the concept of it, the fact that it electrocutes you. I just hate the way its face looks and the little pointy bits on its back and belly, and it's weird. I don't like it. But he does actually function as something. So he's going to go into D tier. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's cooler and more unique than him. Or, you know, we're going to put him in C. He attacks. He does something. He's a cool idea. And while I may not like the design, I can give him props for good idea. Anyway, now we've got the giant floater, which again doesn't really have a function in the game apart from making a biome exist. If you don't know, these guys are on the bottom of the giant floating island. And honestly, I think the idea of these is really cool. They don't do anything, so, you know, it has that issue, but I'm thinking either D or E. It's definitely more interesting than that, but it's definitely not as interesting as that. I kind of like the design, the idea, and I like the fact that it makes the island, so I'm going to put it in D. Now, this guy. This guy is the skeleton from, I think, the disease research facility in the Lost River. And if this guy was alive and kicking in the actual game, I think it would be one of my favourite all-time creatures. But honestly, even the dead form, I think is cooler than the shocker. I like it. I think it's cool. Moving on, very quickly, Arctic Peeper. Not much to say about it. I prefer it to the regular Peeper, but it's not quite as iconic, so I'm going to put it as A. Arctic Ray, I feel like awesome idea. Don't think they pulled it off too well. I don't know, the thing just looks kind of awkward to me. Maybe I just haven't spent that long looking at them, but I'm not actually a big fan. So I think that kind of goes in line with the shocker here, although I do prefer it to that, so I'll put it there. I don't know if I'm going to keep up with doing the left to right thing on these, but we'll see. Next up, we got the arrowhead, kind of an F tier, not really recognizable. It's not actually F tier. But I think I would put it probably on the same line as these guys, really. So we'll drop him right there. No one really cares. Next up, Biter. I think they could have done some much more interesting things with the biters and the blighters. I love the fact that they're tiny fish that attack you, and it's pretty surprising when they do attack you when you first play the game. When you don't know what they are, you don't expect them to because they just look like other small little fish. So I think that's pretty cool, but I think it would have been even cooler if they were able to like swarm your player or swarm a sea moth maybe. So I feel like that's a bit of a missed opportunity. So I'm going to put it down onto B, I think, and we'll just grab the blighter and put it up there as well. The bladderfish, super recognizable. I love the design of it. I think it's really cool. I don't know why. That is our first S tier. Cannot complain. Shut up. I don't care about your opinions. The bladderfish is cool. Moving swiftly onto the lamprey, which I believe is even called the lamprey. I don't know. I found them like once, and I'm pretty sure you only find them in the Aurora in the engine room. But I like the way they attack and go into your arm, and you have to like stab them. Again, I feel like there could have been more done with it. But overall, I think it's pretty cool. So I think I'm going to put him here. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I think we're going to move all these guys down one because I do think the lamprey is significantly cooler than these two. Yeah, so I think we'll go for that. Now we've got the big old cave crab. Issue with this guy, I think he's pretty cool. He's just like the cave crab from the surface. I don't think this guy's actually called a cave crab. I don't know what he's called. Cave crab but longer. Trademarked. Copyrighted. Anyway, the issue with these guys, they are pretty cool and I like the way they jump around. But at the point in the game where you come across these in the Lost River, you either have a prawn suit or a cyclops or a good sea moth, and they don't really do anything since you have those. So to me, I like the design, but they really don't do anything. So I think I'm going to put them here, just because I like the design, but again, don't really do anything. Next up, we got the bone shark with its head cut off. I hate the design of the bone shark. I think it sucks. It doesn't have any interesting attacks. It just serves to be a little bit of a nuisance. There really is nothing interesting about it that I know of. So for me, all the way down at the bottom of there, at least the shocker has some kind of interesting attack. This guy, it just serves to scare new players. That's all it really does. Next up, we got the boomerang fish. probably one of my favorite fish in the game. Super recognizable. I love the design of it. It's going in S tier. Maybe it shouldn't. Maybe these guys both shouldn't. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe bladderfish should go in A. I really love the boomerang fish even more than the bladderfish, so we'll do that. Next up, the brain coral. I think that's what it's called. It produces the oxygen bubbles, which is really useful in some parts of the game, and I think it should have been embraced a little bit more to have more interesting ways to get oxygen. It does function, which these two don't, but the design's kind of boring. I mean, it's fine. I don't know what else they could have done with it, but to me, for some reason, I feel like it goes there. People might hate me for that. It's just a piece of coral, but at least it does something. I don't know. I'm keeping it there. That's my decision. If you can't tell, I'm not really thinking too much about anything that I'm doing here. Next up is the brine wing, which kind of is in the same level as these, whereas it's a small fish and you don't really expect it to, but I love the way that it attacks random creatures in the world, and I love the way that it can literally freeze your player. It's probably one of the most interesting creature attacks in the entirety of both games, tied with maybe like the crab squid and the lily paddler, because even like the shocker, it has a cool attack, but it doesn't actually really do anything different to the player as far as I'm aware. Maybe it does stun you and I just don't know, but this guy, I know for a fact, does. It freezes you, because that happened and it was weird and scary. So to me, this guy goes all the way up here. I actually hate the design of it. I think it's incredibly ugly. It's one of my least favorite creature designs in both games, but it has a cool attack. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think he's going to go down there, but he's definitely cooler than this dude. Next up, we have the brute shark, which again just feels like another copy-paste of like the bone shark or the sand shark. So he's going to go right there, although I do like the design more. I feel like this shocker could have gone up a little bit. He is cooler. I just don't like the design. I think we're going to put him up over here. I can't say he's worse than a brain coral, can I? Really? I don't think I can. But we'll do that, and then we'll put the brute shark like right after him. I like the design, but again, he's just kind of boring. He doesn't do anything interesting. Next up is the cave crab, the actual cave crab, and this guy does do something because you're on foot when you find this thing, and that's nice. So to me, more interesting, but again, the attacks aren't particularly interesting. Interesting. He's kind of in the same line as these guys, I think. So I'm going to put him, I prefer him to these guys. You know, we'll do this. I don't like the blighter. Now, this one's going to be controversial. The Chalicerate. Basically just a Reaper Leviathan reskin, but I really do like the look of it. It behaves almost exactly the same, but I think it's still really cool. I don't think it can go in S tier. It's not that cool, but I think it's a really nice poster child of Below Zero. So I think I'm going to put it in A. I think that's pretty fair. You either love it or you hate it with this thing, so I guess in my case, I love it. Next up, for some reason, we've got mushroom trees. I think they're cool. They're a little bit boring. I'm going to put them in E for the kind of non-functional but I guess cool plants, and that means true coral can go down there. I don't know why that's in this tier list, but it is. And then we've got the crab snake, which is one of my favorite creatures in the game because it hides in the mushrooms, and that is incredibly cool. And if you don't see them swimming around, or even if you do, you can swim over a mushroom and get stabbed by one of them, and that is incredibly cool. Something that I wish games did more. That is my alarm to wake up this morning. You can tell that I'm up earlier than I want to. That's why I had to record this to wake up before Stranded Deep. Okay, so the crab snake, I absolutely love it. I'm not sure if it deserves an S tier, but I think it deserves the top of A. It's kind of straddling the line between those two, in my opinion. And then we've got the crab squid, which is one of the coolest creatures in the game. One of those that I mentioned that has a really cool attack, has the EMP attack, which is incredibly cool. I don't think I like the design enough for it to be S tier, but it is definitely top of A tier. Personally, just on a personal level, for no real objective reason, I prefer the crab squid. So I'm going to put the squid... What is this guy called? I've just said crab squid and then I've realised what is this guy's name. I think I just said it. It is crab squid. Did I say this is crab squid? This is crab snake. That's a crab squid. That's probably why I'm confused. Okay, anyway, I think that's about right. I'm not a big fan of the design. I feel like it could have been more movement based. It kind of just floats along and shocks. I feel like they could have done more with the tentacles and stuff. Maybe made it latch onto the sea moth. I think that would have been cool. And completely shut off the power, so then you have to get out of the sea moth and stab it a couple times, and then it'll get off, and then your sea moth will be able to turn on again. More stuff like that I think this game could really benefit from. More interesting and unique ways to be attacked by the creatures, because after you played through the game the first time, Subnautica or Below Zero, you kind of realise that you're not really threatened by anything. And everything can be easily avoided with really simple tactics, like Reapers just stay close to the floor and you'll probably be fine. I feel like they should do more in the next game to really level it up, to have each creature have an interesting reaction with at least like one of the vehicles or the player itself. This video is going to end up way longer than I wanted it to be. How long is it right now? It's at 16 minutes, awesome. Next up, Crashfish. Hate the design of it, hate the sound of it, like what it does, he goes there. I just don't like the crash fish. I just don't. Crimson Ray, most uninspired of all the Rays. I like Rays, but he doesn't do shit. You just find him and he exists, and when you're going down there, you're most likely in a Cyclops or a prawn suit, so why do we care? The answer, we don't. Next up, Cryptosuchus, one of my favourite creatures in the game. I think it's a super cool design. I think the fact that they travel, but they don't really travel in groups, but you find like loads of them in that biome. I can't remember what the biomes are called. I think they're really cool. I like them. I wish they would do more, maybe like a charge up like a bull or something. Like if they'd compress themselves down to be as streamlined as they can and then just do a massive burst with that tail and legs and slam into your sea truck or something. I think that'd be really cool. But they don't. Regardless, I'm putting them in S tier. I think they're really cool. I like them. Plus, I think it was episode 4 of Below Zero, the thumbnail for that. The one where I got a sea truck. I love the thumbnail for that thing. It has the Cryptosuchus in it. I love it. Awesome stuff. Next up, Cuttlefish. Everyone loves it. S tier. Adorable. Love him. Little chubby dude. He's my bestie. Next up, Discus Fish. Boring. Probably the most boring little fish there is. He stinks. And you know what? He's going to be the only fish in EOF, I reckon. He's just ugly. He's stupid. Although, now that I say it, I'm seeing this guy. I can't even remember his name. He's ugly. I don't like him. So he's going there. And you know what also goes there? The Oculus. And you know what also goes there? The Magmarang. It's just a copy, paste, and reskin. And you know what also goes there? No, of course it doesn't. I'm joking. The Newt Fish is great. The Newt Fish, I don't know why I like it. I don't know, he's awkward, but he's a little goofy guy, and I appreciate that. And that opens up on my screen. This guy, he's ugly as hell. He's just a reskin of this guy. I hate all of these. I don't mind this guy, but he's just a reskin. You're in a lava area. Why couldn't it be something interesting? Also, when I played through Subnautica on YouTube, by the way, that series I used to love, I kind of feel like the quality's not quite there now. But hey, I guess that just means I've improved when it comes to editing. Anyway, point is, this guy's just a reskin. I never encountered one of them when I was playing through the game, and I spent quite a lot of time where it's found. So yeah, he sucks, he goes there. Next up we got the Eye Jelly. I really like these guys. I think they're super cool. I love the fact that they fill up that sparse Arctic area. So he goes there, and especially when you go like under the icebergs, when you're going into the land area, and they fill up the caves, I think they're super cool. I love them. Moving on to the Featherfish, one of my favourite fish in the game, probably my favourite in Below Zero, or at least my favourite new one in Below Zero. So I'm going to put him up to there. Actually, wait, no, that would mean I prefer him. And I think I'm tied with these guys. These guys are all like cool fish, and now that I'm looking at it, this guy probably doesn't deserve to be up here, but I'm gonna leave him. Next we've got the Floater. Now the issue with this thing is you have to interact with it intentionally before it does anything even remotely interesting. It's really cool that you can throw it onto your Seamoth or items or I don't know, stuff, I can't really remember what, and it will make them float. That's a really neat idea, and I really like it, and I like the fact that there's a bigger version of it right here. But why, like, maybe they could be like heat seeking. So if you use your Seamoth flying around for too long, maybe it builds up some kind of heat that you can't really see in the game, and then these guys get like attracted to it or something like that. Or maybe they're just attracted to magnetic stuff, and you could say there's magnets in the Seamoth or something to make it more of a threat. So you're gliding over the safe shallows in your Seamoth, and you just get these guys and you get punted to the surface. I think that'd be way cooler. So to make these guys heat-seeking, I think would be really cool. But either way, I think they're pretty neat, and I think they go above all these. In fact, I think they belong in this one. We don't have very much in there, so we'll put him there. The Frozen Leviathan. If this thing could break out the ice and explore the world, or you could find it in the wild, it would probably be my favourite creature in the entire game. I love the design of it. It's incredibly cool. Subnautica has a surprising amount of land throughout both of the games, and there isn't a whole lot of life on them. There's the snow stalker, there's the crabs, and there's the ice worm, and that's pretty much all there is from what I can think. And I think it would be nice to have more. So we're going to put this guy all the way up there. If he moved around, I would prefer him. He would be S tier, but he doesn't. So here we are. The Gargantuan Leviathan, the skeleton from the Lost River in the first game. If this thing again was alive, I would love it way more, but the skeleton is still incredibly cool, so he's going to go at the top of B tier. Yeah, an inanimate skeleton is that high up, but I love it. I think it's really cool. They're Gary fish. Everyone loves the Gary fish. Personally, I hate the Gary fish. He's ugly. He doesn't deserve to go that low though, so I'm gonna put him on par with the new fish to kind of be a goofy little dude. Then we've got gasopods, something that I think Subnautica needs to do way more. Passive, unique creatures that still are interactable. The gasopods, they act like cows, they swim around in little herds, you go near them, they fart on you, and you can kill them or like harvest their pustules and do stuff with that. That is incredibly good ideas and gameplay and stuff. So he is going all the way up to S tier. I love myself a gasopod, and honestly they're really cute. They're cool designs. Everything about them is good. I can't think of anything that I don't like about them. The Ghost Leviathan, one of my favorite creatures in the game as well. I adore the design of the Ghost Leviathan, which makes me want to put him up here, except his attacks are incredibly boring, so he's going at the bottom of A. I just wish he did something more interesting. These guys, most of the time when you find them, are out in the void of the base game, right? So why not have them do a massive tail flick to whack your sea moth and punt it 500 meters? I don't know. Or they have those weird big horn things, so maybe you're swimming out there with your sea moth, and in the far distance in the murky water, you see some glowing eyeballs of a Ghost Leviathan. You see it start to shake side to side, and then all of a sudden it darts towards you like an incredibly scary and terrifying bull, and it smashes into you and it takes your sea moth down to really low HP, and that would be very cool, right? But instead it just kind of slowly swims into you and barely damages you. Next up, we've got the transparent ray guy. I love my rays, but he doesn't quite deserve to be up there. I think he deserves to be... I really like the design. He just doesn't do anything, so he's going to go there. And while we're talking about rays, this guy is my absolute favorite. He doesn't do anything, so that is a bad thing about him, but I love the design. He is probably one of my favorite creatures in the game as well. I love him, he's beautiful. Glow whale, also one of my favorite creatures in the game. You can interact with it, that is incredibly cool. They jump out the water, that is incredibly cool. The biome in which they're found, incredibly cool. The general design, incredibly cool. He's an S tier. It's a shame that he doesn't do a whole lot when it comes to gameplay. It'd be cool if you could like harvest something off him similar to the gasopod or the reefback, but as far as I'm aware, that's not a thing, so I don't know, he's going up there anyway. Maybe we should put him... Actually, he's in more interactable than this, so I think that makes sense. Okay, and you know what, the gasopod, I forgot we're doing the left to right thing, but the gasopod's better than the crypto. Actually, the gasopod's probably my favorite creature on the list right now. The boomerang, let's do a little switch around. There we go, that's my order. I don't care about the order of anything down here, I gotta be honest. Next up, we've got, is it called the Hive Mind? I saw these, I scanned them, I thought, ooh, that's cool, and then I never thought about them again. It's a cool idea. What I think they do is they change colors when there's a scary creature nearby, which is really neat, especially when you're going through those caves. But again, I feel like they could have made more of a synergy between this creature and a new imaginary one. Imagine there was some kind of creature that clings to the walls, like a kind of underwater gecko that clings to the walls and goes camouflage or goes kind of transparent, so it's really difficult to see. But these guys change color when one's nearby, so you can't see the creature, but you see these guys change color and you think, oh shit, there's a wall invisible gecko guy, and that would be cool. But instead they just light up when there's something like no one cares about and everyone knows is there. So to me, really cool idea. I wish they would have done more with it. I think he's gonna go there. And also I like the design. I think it's a really neat idea. Moving on, the hoopfish. That's another kind of fish. I think he's kind of in line with the arrowhead to me. Hoopfish, love the design. He's on par with the boomerang. Actually, I prefer him to the boomerang. The boomerang's gonna move down here now. I love the hoopfish. He's just so cool. He's a goofy little fella. And the hoverfish as well. He is like, I don't know what to do. He's a goofy guy. I love him. He's a cool design. He's going up there. I don't know how to explain myself to you. Iceworm. Cool. Too easy to avoid, although I guess that's kind of the point of most creatures in Subnautica. I understand that, by the way, that most creatures are meant to scare you, but ultimately never actually kill you as long as you're not really reckless. But personally, I would like the game to be more difficult, to have creatures, have to be tactical around different creatures. You have to learn what they do, and you have to escape by the skin of your teeth and then go back in a different way next time. Like maybe I could go in with my snow fox and I'm zooming, I'm going really fast, then the iceworm bursts out from underneath me, and that's because I was going too fast. So maybe you have to kind of pace yourself. I feel like that's one of my least good ideas out of the ones that I've proposed today. Not that this is supposed to be an ideas for Subnautica video, but I don't know. I'm sure they could have come up with something cooler. Either way, I really like the design of it. I think he comes in line with the crab squid for me. This guy, surprisingly cool. He kind of encapsulates a lot of what I've been suggesting here. He latches onto the Cyclops and I think drains your power, or at least damages your hull or something, and that is an incredibly cool gameplay mechanic, to have to go out and collect it and then risk getting shot at by these guys. So these guys kind of have a cool wombo combo to them, which I think is really neat. Issue is I don't like the design of either of them, but I think he's going to go up there with the Brine Wing, both of these, because they kind of work together and they're found in the same area. I think more could have been done, but I really do like it. It makes the game a little bit more interesting. The Lily Paddler. One of my favourite creatures in the game. Awesome design, awesome effect, found in a perfect location. I love it. He's S tier. Yeah, we'll do that. And he's kind of in a similar lane to the Mesmer. Issue is I never had an interaction with the Mesmer. I'm not entirely sure what it does. But the Mesmer you kind of find, as far as I'm aware, in open waters. I have come across them, I've just never really interacted with them. These guys you find in caves really deep. So if you don't get back to your thing and it changes like the ping and stuff, it's really cool. I don't think these guys are quite as cool. I think this guy goes in line with a Brine Wing. It's cool, it's small, it's actually a way cooler design than the Brine Wing. I really do like the design, but he's going there. Next up we got the Peeper, A tier, obviously. He's gonna go like there. Weird, I understand that it's like the whole logo of Subnautica, the Peeper, but I don't really like the design. Also, I think I said I prefer this one to the regular Peeper, and I do. I don't know, I want to put this guy in S tier just because of how recognizable it is, but I actually don't prefer it to these. But we're gonna leave him there. Whatever, this is a stupid little tier list, no one cares. The Penguins. I like the fact that when you steal the babies, the adults attack, but that's kind of all they do. They, well, I guess they are kind of land creatures as well, so I was wrong when I said earlier that there isn't as much, but there definitely still could be more. I don't know, they're cool. Again, they're like a poster child of Below Zero, but they don't do much. So I think I'm gonna put them like right here, both of them. I've got the hiccups. I don't know, sure, I think it works. The Pinnacarid, really cool idea. I love the fact that it's like a seal. I love the design, but they don't do shit, which is a big bummer. I'm gonna put him like here, because I like the design. I like their design though. I like this guy. We'll put him there. This thing, I don't even know what the fuck this thing is. I don't know where that's even found. He's going there. Rabbit Ray, love the design, but again, it's just like a weird, awkward phase between this and bigger creatures. And I know I said I wish there was a bit more variety, and this guy, it does kind of have that variety, but he just doesn't do anything. And he's not cool as like the design of this guy, so I think he goes just behind the Pinnacarid, because I prefer him. The Leviathan, the Reaper, he goes up there. I actually kind of prefer these guys to him, but he's cool, and he's well known, and that's pretty much all I can say. He has a cool attack, he has a scary design, terrifying shriek, love him. This guy, don't prefer him to the regular Featherfish, so put him at the bottom there, whatever. Reefback Leviathan, love it. There he goes. He's the coolest. He's so cool. I love the Reefback Leviathan. One of the coolest creatures in the game. One of the coolest creatures in any game created ever. Next up, Reginald. Sucks. Sucky fish. No one cares about you. This guy, again, in the Lost River Research Disease Facility deal. Cool. If he was alive, but he's not, so I'm going to put him there. But if he was alive, then I think he would have been one of my favourites in the game. Let's move this stuff around a little bit. That looks about right. River Prowler. It's like the Ampiel, but less cool. Where's the Ampiel? He's there. So I'll shove this guy down there, whatever. Rock Grub, kind of cool. I love the fact that it interacts with this guy, but the Rock Grub by itself doesn't really do anything. This guy, I actually love the design of. S tier. He's going to go probably about there. I weirdly love the design of this. And I'm now realizing we now can't see stuff, so let's zoom out a little bit. Sand Shark! Where's the Bone Shark? He's going just behind that because I don't like the design as much. He's ugly. I guess I like the fact that he goes through the sand, but it doesn't actually affect gameplay ever, from what I've seen. So yeah, he's going there. The Sea Dragon, pretty cool. Cool attack, cool design. I feel like it could have been a bit more unique, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to put him with the rest of the lava guys. I don't know. We've got the Sea Emperor, is that what it's called? I think so. Really cool. It looks too much like the Dragon Leviathan for me. I've never been a huge fan of the design of this. I feel like they could have gone with something a bit more colourful or extravagant in some way. But I guess I'll put it between these guys. I don't know. It's cool. It's fine. We need to zoom out again, goddammit. The Sea Monkey. I love the fact that it can grab items from you. I love the fact that it has nests in the caves. It's a really well thought out creature. I wish it did a little bit more, but it's a nice design. It has cool gameplay elements. It affects the world around it. Therefore, it's an S tier. I really do like it. I think it goes above this guy. I think it's a really underrated creature from Below Zero, to be honest. Next up is the Sea Treader. I wish we had more creatures that walked around on the ground like that. We have the rock puncher, and we have this guy. I think that's literally it. At least the ones that walk on the water, or on the ground underwater. So he's going to go all the way up here as well. Design-wise, I love him just as much as the reef back. And actually, he does have just as cool gameplay elements, so I think I'm going to put him up there. I think I do prefer him to the Reaper. Shadow Leviathan. Cool design, admittedly. Pretty cool attack, but it just feels a little bit uninspired to me. I think I prefer him to these guys, but not by much, so he's going to go there in C. Shuttlebug. Has anyone ever gave a damn about the Shuttlebug? I don't think so. He's going there. The only use for him is to put his eggs in biomass burners. These guys, they had a lot of ambience to the sky, but they could do way more, so he's going there. Baby Snowstalker and Big Snowstalker, I think they're really cool. I don't think they quite deserve to be S tier, but I think we can shove them... yeah, we'll put them above there. And I like the fact that they have babies. I think that's pretty neat. The babies can go above because they're cuter. And we're going to zoom out again. The spadefish. Once again, no one's ever give a shit about the spadefish. No one cares about him. He's going down there. He sucks. I don't care about the order of these things. These are cool. I really like these. The way they grab you, they are terrifying. Once you know they exist, pretty easy to avoid though. But again, that does kind of encompass the gameplay elements that I would like to see in a future installment or an update to the game. Although I doubt the game will ever get a significant update. So I think I'm safe to put him pretty high up here. We'll put him above these guys. I think I do prefer the crab squid's design. The bonefish, again, it's just like a reskin. I guess he's a bit higher up on the reskins in the coolness factors, but whatever. Spinnerfish. I really love the design of this thing. I think it's cool. It's inspired me for stuff. I like it. This guy, Squid Shark, I think is what he's called. Again, a cool design. Kind of just feels like a smaller copy and paste redesigned Leviathan. Doesn't feel like he does anything particularly interesting. Although, wait, doesn't he have the shock ability? I think he does. Isn't he what shocked my sea truck and shut the music off in that one episode? I think it is. Therefore, he's actually way cooler than I thought. But I don't really like the design, so I think I'm going to put him up here with that. It's easy to avoid, but again, it's kind of like a cool thing to encounter and to learn to avoid them for that reason. The Stalker, it's an iconic creature and it drops its teeth and it grabs the metal. Really cool gameplay elements. Once again, tempted to put this in S tier, but I don't think it quite deserves to be there, so I'm going to put it right at the top of A tier. Then we've got the Symbiote, which is basically just, I think, a below zero version of these guys, although they do interact with the Titan Hullfish, and that's pretty cool, which means I think they deserve to be one tier above that, but I'm not a big fan of this guy. I am a big fan of the Titan Hullfish and the fact that you can swim through it and the fact that it can give you oxygen. Therefore, he's going up here. I love this guy. He's a really cool design. Just for design alone, he goes there. The Trialf? Is that even what it's called? Or is this the Trivalve? I don't even really know. We're going to put him there. He sucks. No one cares about him. These guys, they're cute. I never even got one. I didn't know they existed. They are definitely not on par with the cuttlefish when it comes to pets. They are pretty cool. I do like the design, but again, they don't really do much and they're not as iconic and they're not as cool design. I think I'm going to shove them over the bottom of there. Then the Vent Garden. Really cool that there's juveniles and adults. Really cool that you can go inside them and actually get stuff from inside them. This is kind of on par with the Reefback, but to me, in general, I don't think it's quite as cool, so I'm going to put him there. Then we've got the Bone Chelicerate. He's down here. I like the Chelicerate. The Bone Chelicerate is just as cool, but why could they not design something that looks cooler? They could have. They could have made a whole new design. Honestly, I would rather them have reused the Ghost Leviathan than to make the Bone Chelicerate, but here we are. Next up's the Warper. Pretty cool. I always avoided them quite a lot, so I never interacted with them that much, but I'm pretty sure they have some like cool attacks and stuff, and the fact that they're like robots is really neat. I think they're really recognizable. I think they deserve to be an S tier. Then we've got Alan. I love the design of Alan. He deserves to go up there as well. Maybe at the top of this, actually. We'll put him there. At least he does something. He's really neat. But he's not really just a regular creature. Really what he is an NPC. So there's not much to say about him. This picture, I don't know what this picture is. Is it a starry night sky? I don't understand it. I don't know what that is. I'm just gonna shove it there. Whatever. We've got this guy. I've probably seen the design before, but I don't remember what it was, which means it probably wasn't that interesting. We'll put it at the top of there. Actually, we'll put it at the bottom of there because it looks pretty cool. This, I have no idea what the hell that is. This one is like the giant sky ray that I think was shown in one of the teaser trailers to Subnautica. I wish that was in the game. I'm hoping that someday it will make a comeback. I really like the idea of it. I think I'm going to put him at the top of there. I kind of wish he made it into the game. Then we've got this funky dude. I don't know if that guy's actually in the game or if it was another of the small reskin creatures that they considered adding. I mean, he's just as cool design-wise as this. The fact that he's not in the game means he's like lower, but I like him. I think he's cool. This sea ice dragon thing, I just farted with my mouth. This guy, everyone wanted this in the game. They scrapped it because there wasn't a good place to put it. I think it's a super boring design. I don't think it's really interesting at all. I don't give a shit that it wasn't added. I think it's boring. He's fine, he's cool, he's, you know, he's better than these things, but actually he's better than a lot of stuff in here too. We'll put him like there. Then we've got the icebreaker, Leviathan, Respack, Leviathan, reskin type thing, and you guys know how I feel about reskins, except this guy could create some incredibly cool gameplay elements. There isn't really a spot on the map for him, but I would have loved for a spot to be made. Maybe we could see them swimming around in the sparse Arctic, expand the sparse Arctic to have like some ice sheets on top, and you have to go on top of the ice sheets to collect something, and then these guys could tear their way through and they could slowly, not really slowly, but like at a medium pace, come towards you and break that ice underneath, and it'd be terrifying and you have to run away. Otherwise you'll get like trapped in ice or something. I freaking love the idea. Probably even more than the regular reef pack. I wish they added this thing. Then we've got like a sky ray, but it's like a predator. Again, I think would have been so cool. I wish they added it. I put this guy there. I hope I got what this guy is right. If I didn't, then oh well. You can see just there how small a person would have been compared to it. I think he could have introduced some really cool gameplay elements, I'm just saying. Then we've got this weird little crab dude, which I guess could like steal your batteries from your machines. That's a complete guess. But I actually think that would be really cool. If you were going through a cave in a prawn suit and this guy just scuttles out the wall and steals your battery, I think that would be really cool actually. So I'm gonna put him up there. This thing, I think it was like slightly made in Subnautica, the original game, but they decided not to add it, so there'd be like a little mound, and if you swam over it, then it'd burst up and grab you and drag you under or eat you or something. I think that's a really cool idea. I think I would prefer it in some slightly different areas, but I think it should have been added. Maybe is it the crack fields that don't really have much in them? I think that'd be really neat. And maybe you could find like lithium scattered around the edge, so even if you know they exist, you could risk it for the lithium and try to do that. I think that would have been really cool. And if it was added, I think it would go like there. Sure, I don't know. And then we've got just a reskin of this dude. I'm pretty sure it's just the different color. So there we have it. Can we zoom in anymore? Kind of. There we go. There we have it. It's a Subnautica Below Zero and Subnautica creature tier list with some concept arts and stuff. I don't know. I've just wanted to do a tier list because they're weirdly entertaining to watch. I feel like my version of it is not as entertaining, but if you're still here somehow, I hope you've had a good time. This is again another example of the kind of stuff you can expect to see here on the second channel. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna call that done. So see you later. Bye bye. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, you're insane. I appreciate the support. Also, go watch Subnautica Below Zero. Link to the playlist in the description. Go sub to the main channel if you somehow found this one first. Okay, bye.